This is Annette Julie, and we're continuing on with the slip stitch. I untangled that knot because my thread has wax on it, which is awesome, and I'm going to put more wax on my thread. Have a nice amount of wax on there. Feel free to use more. And it looks like we're right ready to go through to the face side of the fabric. And now we're going to slip along our 3/8 of an inch and come out. Go right next to that fold to the face side of the fabric. Take a little small stitch. Go right back in. Slip along your 3/8 of an inch. Come out. Go down to the face side of the fabric. Go over just a couple little baby stitches. Go right back in that fold. Come out 3/8 of an inch later. Go down right next to that fold. Go right back in. Back up here on the wrong side. Go right back in that fold. Get your needle right next to that edge. Go through. Here we are on the right side. Go over just a couple little grains. Come right back up. Get in that fold, slip along, 3/8, come out. Go through to the right side of the fabric. Just go over a couple little grains, come right back up. Go right back in that fold. And come right up on that seam. And the seam, I'm going to go all the way through now, just so I can anchor it seam to seam. Always pulling it nice and flat so I don't have the thread too tight. Now we're going to go right back in the seam, even though it's a big seam now. I have extra seam allowance in there. Still going to go over my 3/8 of an inch. And I'm going to go all the way through all the layers of seam allowance. Go over a couple little baby stitches. Come right back up. Get in that fold. Slip along. Come out 3/8 of an inch later. Let me get some more wax. And excuse me. Got some wax. Okay, now we're going to go all the way through. Go over a couple very small grains of thread. Come right back up and get in that fold. Three-eighths of an inch away. Coming out. Going to the right side of the fabric. And I sew with black thread on a beige muslin so everybody can see. But you would be sewing with what we call dyed to match thread for your hem, DTM. Because we don't need you to sew contrast. Just for a sample. For school. For fun. But not really for your garment. Here we are on the right side. Going over just a couple little grains, coming right side, back side up, back into the fold. Three-eighths. Come out. Three-eighths of an inch. Coming out that edge. We have a loop there. Let's make sure we pull that through first. Okay. Onto the back again. We have to get right back in that fold. Scoot along a full 3/8. Come out the edge. Now we're almost at the seam. Let's go ahead and line those seams up. When we get there, we want them perfectly lined up. Over a couple little baby stitches. Have to go right back in that fold. And we're going to come out on that seam. I want to line up the seams. Even though mine wasn't exactly 3/8, I did more like a quarter just to get there. Lining it up seam to seam. Now we can continue on. A full 3/8 of an inch. Now we're getting towards the end here, and I sewed the whole thing without any pins. We had markings. Just want to make sure that last inch is how I want it. I'm going to go ahead and pin that up. And we are going to do our last segment. Three-eighths. To the front, grab a little bit of fabric, but not much. Back into the fold, pushing forward 3/8, coming out. Back into that fold. Three-eighths. Right side of the fabric. Grabbing a really small amount. Back into the fold. Going to the right side of the fabric. Back up. Into the fold. Going through to the right side of the fabric. Grabbing a couple little grains of fabric there. And right back into that fold. Up 3/8, move that pin. All the way to the right side of the fabric. Back in the fold one more time. Still at 3/8. Bring that out all the way through. Come back up. And now we're going to go inside that fold, but we're just going to tie a knot. We're not going to sew anymore. Just going to fold that fabric back and get inside that seam allowance. Make yourself a little lasso. And you're going to hide that knot inside. Hold it. Trim nice and close. And we have just finished our slip stitch. Here is the wrong side of our slip stitch. Here is the right side of our slip stitch, just little dots. And this is Annette Julie, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.